Build up those questions, review those bios, and get to know those people that you're meeting with.
Don't name drop associates or partners at the firm. I can't even think of a time where that's been beneficial to someone. Nothing's worse than when
for people interested in law school or in law school, we want to be that guide for folks that gives you the inside scoop you're not going to get anywhere else. We know what big law firms are actually looking for. Lock in and go big law.
Welcome back to Lock In and Go Big Law. I'm Genevieve.
And I'm Jennifer.
And today we are talking about the interview process.
Dun,
And unless you get an offer, but you have multiple offers, what do you do? Let's dive into it. So interview process, okay? You screened and you're like, fantastic. Get called back for a full round. What are some do's and don'ts? Let's start off with the do's because I feel like, start out on the positive. You need to arrive 10 to 15 minutes early.
I agree.
If you're going to be late, let recruiting know as soon as possible. Like the second that you're not going to make it on time, you need to let us know.
Yeah, you need to send us an email. Look at it. Look at the signature in our signature block. Look for that phone number. Call us. Things happen. Yeah. We're all human, but you need to be as communicative as possible because as we were talking about in one of our other episodes, communication is key. It's a big part of being a lawyer. It's a big part of being a junior associate. So I think that is super important. And honestly, I would err on the side of caution and buffer in more than that 10 to 15 minutes. Go to a coffee shop down the street. Take some time to really prepare yourself and get in that headspace before you walk into the law firm. Because another thing that's kind of weird too is if you're half an hour early and you go to the law firm and you're sitting in the lobby, that's too early. And I know we're be early, but not too early. But it's appropriate to be 10 to 15 minutes
just Google.
early.
I'm sure there's a coffee shop, especially I'm based out of New York. Starbucks every 2 seconds. I also think when you show up, look professional.
Suit up.
Yeah, suit up.
If we're walking you around the office, everyone will know you're interviewing because you're going to be the only person who's officially fully suited. That's okay. We're excited to have you, but it's better to err on the side of being overly dressed than underdressed.
Yes. No, we had a mock interview. I get it was a mock interview, but again, to go back to one of our episodes, everything's an interview, even if it's a mock interview.
If you do well during a mock interview.
That was your screen.
Yeah. Fun fact.
Surprise! It was your screen. So take everything like it is an interview. But we had a candidate show up and they were in a hoodie. I don't know what they expected it was. I don't know if they were confused on what it was.
They came to the office?
Yes, to the office to meet with one of our associates in a hoodie and jeans. They had a takeout bag. I don't know what was happening there. Didn't acknowledge it. And then
the hoodie or the bag?
The hoodie or the bag. None of it. Yeah. No, just sat down and we were like, that's weird. That's strange because our attorneys, they're taking time out of their day to do this mock interview. They were suited up.
Yeah, they wanted to prep you for your interview.
You got to match their energy. So, nothing's worse than when the attorney who's interviewing shows up and is dressed up more than you are.
That's so true.
Yeah. So always err on the side of dressing up more. You can't be too dressed up, but you certainly can be not dressed up enough. Another do that I have is ask engaging questions and prepare engaging questions. One thing that always comes up that I think people, partners and associates alike, they really love when you have looked up either a case or a deal they worked on and ask them questions about it. Again, with a little asterisk, don't be asking questions more than they do about it. But as we've said, attorneys, they spend a lot of time doing their work. They love talking about what they do. Honestly, it shows a lot of interest when you took the time to look up something that they worked on and ask them questions about it. They love talking about that.
100%. And they love talking about themselves.
Everybody
loves
talking about themselves.
Everyone loves talking about themselves. But honestly, that actually is a good segue to one of my do's, which is review people's bios.
Yeah.
At least in California, we give you the interview schedule and we do a little hyperlink. We're this is Genevieve, hyperlink her bio, hyperlink everyone's bios. It's we're serving it up to you on a silver platter. Just review the bios. You can see clients that they're supporting, maybe recent cases and things that they're doing, and build up those questions, review those bios, and get to know those people that you're meeting with. Because if you don't, it comes across, and we see that in the feedback. I don't know if you've seen that in the feedback as well, where they were this person got on. It was very clear that they didn't prepare. They didn't know who I was. The recruiting team puts in a lot of thought. And I know we talked about this on another episode into building your schedule. And it's tailored to you. And so lean into that and review the bios and try to see what are the commonalities here. I said that I was interested in private equity. This is the leader of the private equity group. They're taking time to meet with you. And so do a little bit of that research.
I agree with that. Another asterisk here. As we know, attorneys get busy. Sometimes they cancel. And students will freak out and be like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Which, like, rightfully so. I would freak out too if, like, 10 minutes before we were like, oh, BTW, this attorney now. I wouldn't stress too much about that. Yeah. The attorney knows that they were just put into the schedule. So they'll know, like, you don't have tailored questions for me.
Yeah.
You didn't have time to look up. If you do have a quick, like, 5 minutes to just go Google them, like, by all means, do that.
We try to do that on the recruiting team here, where if we're like, oh my goodness, we're so sorry, this came up, you're not meeting with Genevieve, we, again, link Genevieve's bio, and we try to give you, like, a little bit of that buffer to read about Genevieve. But again, to your point, that's okay. But if we gave you a schedule well in advance and you didn't review, it shows, are you really interested in being here? Are you interested in this interview process? Like, you didn't take the time to, like, fully invest in the process and research.
Okay, let's just get into the juicy stuff. The don'ts. All the don'ts that we have seen. One big one that I'm hoping is going away, but I feel like we saw it a lot during Zoom, was people cutting their interviews short.
What?
Yes, I know, which sounds crazy. But a few times I've had students be like, that's all the questions I have. Like, I have to go. I had someone actually say, I have to go prepare for another interview, so bye.
What?
So obviously that's a real killer.
Yeah, don't do that. And I think it's important, again, like, you should come prepared with tailored questions to each person. There might be that one question that you ask everybody that's like a culture question or something like that, where you're, like, gauging how people feel about, like, a common topic. But you should have enough questions that fill that space. Yeah. Ask those questions, and, like, even if it isn't directly tailored to that person, backup questions.
Right. I think it's fine to, like, write them down and bring them with you.
I do.
Like,
I don't know if that's weird.
Too. It shows you prepared. You thought about it. You don't have to memorize all your questions. Like, you should have a couple, definitely have solid ones that you know you want to ask, and then have a couple that you're like, okay, let me swap this in and ask this instead.
Yeah. Bring questions for the recruiting team as well.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of folks come in and, like, recruiting team, at least I don't speak to my Goodwin experience. I think you meet with a recruiter first and we do a little intro. We make sure that we get you set up and we ask you some questions that we need to know about you. And then also we give you the opportunity to ask questions. And I've had a lot of times where someone tells me or a member of my team, I'm going to ask the attorneys the questions. I just feel like that's a missed opportunity in a lot of ways, because the recruiters are the ones that honestly are going to know about the process a little bit more, probably keep it the most real with you.
Half the time the attorneys will be like, you should just ask recruiting. That's our whole job, is to manage the process, and the attorneys have a full day job, and thankfully they help us out with recruiting. We appreciate it. But yeah, that's like our whole job, is to manage the process. Another don't that I have, don't name drop associates or partners at the firm. I can't even think of a time where that's been beneficial to someone. We had someone come in, and honestly, I don't think they were even doing it in like I know this person. Yeah. I think they were just trying to make conversation, but it really backfired, because the person they were talking to, I think they had just said, like, oh, I know this person. And the attorney they were talking to was like, I have no clue who that is. They were like, this is a really big firm, and, like, they don't even work in New York.
We have, like, 2,000 attorneys.
Yeah, they were like, I have no clue who that is. And they were like, oh, okay, I know this other person. And then again, the attorney was like,
and then,
okay, like, cool.
Yeah.
Back to the interview. I really can't think of any time that it's been beneficial. But also, if you do know someone, if you know a partner, like, believe we will hear about it. Because we will. Like, the partner will reach out, the associate will reach out and be like, hey, I know this person. And generally, people get very excited about recruiting. So, again, I can't think of a time where if an attorney did know someone, that they didn't reach out to us and be like, oh, hey, this person I know is coming in for an interview, like, JFYI.
A little caveat to that is
a little asterisk.
Yeah. If you were attracted to Goodwin because you went to an event or you saw someone speak at a panel or something like that, and that's what moved you, and you were just like, I saw Genevieve speak on this panel about her practice, and I thought that was super engaging, and that comes up organically in the conversation, I think it's okay to say that.
I think in that situation it's totally fine, but when it's like random, don't do that.
You can't just come in and be like, my father, the inventor of toaster strudel. That's not going to get you anywhere.
The toaster strudels, leave them at home. Then just another don't tell weird stories. And if you're not sure if it's a weird story, go tell the story to someone.
I'm fully in, because I feel like you're saying this because something happened.
Yes. So this happened years ago. I hope this person is a successful attorney now. I don't know. So they had interviewed with us. This was like pre-COVID. We were in person doing a super day interview, which is basically round robin interviews. We had a ton of people come in, and then we would do this like little reception afterwards. Like, we had a little hors d'oeuvres and stuff. So it was during that I was in a circle with a bunch of students who had just interviewed with us. And again, I think maybe sometimes people let their guard down with recruiting. I'm not sure. This student all of a sudden starts telling us about how there was a raccoon outside of their house and they went outside with a hockey stick.
Wait, why did this come up?
No, I don't know. I don't even remember what we were talking about, but I do remember being like, this is random.
So there was a raccoon.
So there was a raccoon. Goes outside with a hockey stick. He's like whacking the raccoon. They turn on the light to see if it's gone, and it's not gone. So, and they were like, oh yeah, and then I just flung it. So I was just like, I don't know what to do with that. And that was a weird story. And the attorneys got wind of it and they were like, we can pass. That's just not an appropriate story to be telling. And you're still in a work setting, essentially.
You're in a work setting, and what we're assessing you for is being able to put you in front of a client. Every firm I've worked at, like, that comes up within conversations with the hiring partner or hiring committee. It might even be on the evaluation form for some firms, wink. So it really is something that, like, we're looking at your long-term success to put you in front of a client. Maybe it's not on day one, but, like, down the line, are you going to be a leader at the firm? Can you engage with the client?
And that professional judgment.
Yeah, that professional judgment is so important, and we don't want to leave you one-on-one with a client and you're talking about how you whack raccoons with hockey sticks.
Right. And then we hear about it.
Because we got fired.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you had any issues with professional judgment in terms of interviews? I'm sure you have. I feel like everyone has stories.
Yeah. Like, one of my don'ts, I guess we could just lean right in.
Yeah,
is,
let's just go for it.
Don't bring your mom to the interview.
Leave your mom at home.
Leave your mom at home. I'm obsessed with my mom. Like, my mom, she would love to come to work. She loves the stories. Like, she would love to see The Office. Like, she would be a treat at the office. I would not bring her to an interview.
Right.
We actually did have a situation this past cycle where someone brought their mom to an in-person interview. And, like, it was weird. I don't know if the mom thought that she had, like, you know, in Harry Potter, like, the invisibility cloak. I think the mom thought that she had an invisibility cloak.
Nobody would see
she's
her.
Like, and again, I don't know that this is the candidate's mom, but I can only imagine because only a mom would do
Yeah, I know.
this
Who else is
situation.
gonna? She sat there the whole time.
Yes. Keep in mind, it's like we're in a big building and it's not fully Goodwin specific. There's multiple other businesses in this building. So we've got a building lobby and then we have the Goodwin lobby. She brought her mom all the way up to the Goodwin lobby. Mom sat in the lobby for 3 hours. Like, we have reception emailing around the office like, hey, is this a client? Who is this? And finally it came back to us because candidate comes out and mom's sitting there and candidate goes, it's like the parking validation from her mom. Mom's like playing on her phone. Doesn't even look up at who I presume is her daughter again. I don't know.
It's got to be a mom. There's no one else.
Hands the ticket to her daughter, like still playing on her phone or whatever, gets the parking validated. They stand up, and I believe, like, the mom started talking about the parking situation and kind of complaining about how it was hard to navigate. And I'm like, Mom, don't do this.
Moral of the story.
Don't bring your mom. Leave mom at home.
Leave mom at home. Any other don'ts that you can think? I mean,
don't be a jerk.
Oh, yeah.
Like, on the flip side of it, every interaction is an interview, and everyone that you're speaking with, like, even downstairs with the security, when you're checking in with the receptionist,
every touch point
recruiting,
matters.
every touch point matters.
Yeah.
And if it's a great firm, they really do value all of those different touch points. I know, like, I can speak from the recruiting experience. Like, when we sit in on these meetings, our hiring partners look at us and say, like, how'd it go? You know, how did they treat you?
Or they expect us to speak up about those things.
You're at Goodwin. Like, that's a huge part of the interview process is, like, the recruiter weighs in on each individual candidate. Make sure that you really maximize those opportunities and just treat people with kindness and respect.
Yeah. Mic drop.
Mic drop. Boom.
No, don't need any more.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. This is going to have to be a part 2 where we talk about you get multiple offers and what do you do. So tune in next time to hear us talk about that. Stay tuned.
Bye.